Just imagine for a second. You are at the absolute end of your rope. You've lost your job, you're totally out of money, and the only position you can find is a dead-end overnight shift at a convenience store. But this isn't just any store. This is a job you couldn't possibly survive. But what if hitting rock bottom wasn't really the end? What if it was actually the beginning of discovering a power you never ever knew you had? Okay, before we dive into this amazing story, if you enjoyed tales like this, please go ahead and follow the channel and share this with a friend. It genuinely helps us grow and lets me bring even more stories to you. So let's meet our guy, Chan. It has been 6 agonizing weeks since his company went completely bankrupt. He's only 29 years old, but at a recent interview for a part-time gig, they told him, get this, he was too old. After paying rent, he is flat broke. The next payment is just around the corner, and he's got nothing left. So as he's walking down the street, feeling totally defeated, this brightly lit convenience store just catches his eye. It's weird. He's never even noticed it before. And taped to the door is a flyer. It's like a beacon of hope, with words that feel like they were written just for him. All genders and ages welcome. He doesn't even think twice. He just walks right in. Inside, he meets the manager, a woman who looks like she's still in high school and seems somehow even more nervous than he is. But then she tells him the salary, 20,000 won an hour. Chan's mind starts racing. That's more than the starting salary at a major corporation. Without a second of hesitation, he just says yes. The manager is so thrilled, she asks him to start training that very night. So 3 hours later, the manager is about to leave for the night. As she heads for the door, she gives him just one piece of advice, her only warning for the entire night ahead. Chen, he's used to dealing with drunks and weirdos, so he just kind of shrugs it off. No problem. Oh, he has no idea what he's just gotten himself into. The first customer walks in. Chan greets him on autopilot, and then he just freezes. The man has the head of a chihuahua, and it's irritably asking where the toothbrushes are. Chan is completely paralyzed, his brain trying to make sense of what he's seen. Is this a prank? Some kind of movie special effects? It just looks way, way too real. And just as he's trying to process the dog man, a second customer comes in, a full-on goblin dragging a heavy sack of clinking coins up to the counter. Okay, the whole prank idea just shatters into a million pieces. This is real. Utterly terrified, Chan slowly reaches for the phone and calls his manager. On the phone, Chan is frantically trying to explain that there's a goblin in the store, and the manager's reply is just terrifyingly casual. She just explains that the store has a teleportation point at the city's center, which is why they get so many goblins and kobolds. When Chan asks if she's a store manager or a mage, she simply says, "I'm both." In complete and total shock, Chan stumbles over to the front door. He pushes it open, and the street he knows is gone. In its place is this bustling promenade filled with creatures straight out of fantasy novels. You've got angels, orcs, minotaurs, even robots and zombies. He has stumbled into another world entirely. Over the phone, the manager gives him his next instruction. He needs to find something called a curse detector under the counter. You can't miss it, she says. It's very colorful. And yeah, Chan finds it instantly. It's this ridiculously bright pink and yellow magic wand that honestly looks more like a toy for a 5-year-old. At that exact moment, a new customer with horns and bat wings starts crawling over the counter right towards him, laughing like a maniac. It's a succubus. Panicked, Chan just presses the button on the wand out of pure instinct. A little rod shoots out, smacks the succubus right on the forehead, and knocks her out cold. But his night of absolute chaos is far from over. A huge crash echoes from outside. A woman on a Pegasus has just landed with a massive delivery. It turns out this is Yunha, the manager's sister, and she's brought drinks, snacks, and a giant crate of dragon scales. This right here is where Chan's first real test begins. Yunha leads him to the store's warehouse, which, by the way, looks more like a medieval dungeon than a stockroom. The dragon scales are leaking this foul, slimy gunk. The manager explains over the phone that it's Dragon Scale Pus, basically contaminated magical power from a botched purification job. Yunha checks and confirms the company that was supposed to clean them is closed for the night. There's nothing they can do. And that's when the manager makes the most insane request you can imagine. Over the phone, she just says, "Chan, I need you to touch it." Chan is horrified. I mean,
He's scared he's going to catch some kind of otherworldly disease. But then, the manager makes him an offer he can't refuse, a 100,000 won bonus. And just like that, money starts talking a lot louder than fear. He agrees to do it.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. As he reaches out his hand, the pus actually recoils from him like it's alive and afraid. You know how it just tells him to get it over with. So he takes a deep breath, ignores every screaming instinct in his body, and plunges his hand right into the slime. The second he makes contact, a brilliant light just erupts, filling the entire room, and the pus is instantly purified. The manager is triumphant over the phone. Her wild guess was correct. She explains that Chan has an incredibly rare power, an anti-magic constitution. See, magic doesn't just not work on him, it works differently.
And this is the absolute key to everything. If magic just bounced off him, nothing would have happened to the pus, but it was purified. Why? Because his own will can influence how his anti-magic reacts. He willed the scales to be clean, and so they were. So think about it. That power, that's exactly how he found the store in the first place. He wasn't just looking for a job, he was completely broke, totally desperate. With every single fiber of his being, he was wishing, hoping, willing for an opportunity to appear. And so it did. His greatest moment of weakness, that feeling of utter desperation, was the very thing that activated his greatest strength. Chanka isn't some failure who stumbled into a weird job by accident. He's a man with a rare and powerful gift, and believe me, his journey is just getting started. If this story moved you or made you think differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and make sure you follow the channel for more stories just like this.